Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to talk about the importance of meal prepping. That doesn't necessarily mean cooking all of your meals ahead. There are some things that we can do to make life in the kitchen easier for busy families. Yes, I am a stay-at-home wife, but that doesn't mean that I always want to spend time in the kitchen or hours in the kitchen. Sometimes I just don't feel like cooking, so I want to do things that make my life a little bit easier. So I'm going to show you some of those tips and tricks today and some of the things that I like to do to save money and time in the kitchen. Let's get started. So this last weekend we went to Sam's Club so that we could restock our freezers. We have 2 chest freezers down in our basement. The smaller ones, the 7 cubic foot, not anything massive. And so I wanted to get some stuff and restock our freezers. Since we went carnivore, we were starting to run low on our reserves, and I wanted to kind of pick some stuff up, and I wanted to kind of share with you what we got and how I broke that down. We actually are saving a lot of money eating this way, which is kind of a shocker for some people, but we spent about $212 on meat, and out of that we were able to make 12 meals out of the ground hamburger with the burgers. I made 2 meals out of the lamb loin chops that we got. I made 8 meals out of the bone-in pork chops. I made 6 ribeye steak dinners. I made 14 boneless pork loin chop meals. I made 10 chicken wing meals. 4 meals for the meatballs that I reserved that pound of ground beef for. And then 6 meals using the boneless pork butt that we're going to smoke and turn into pulled pork. Now, also in that picture is a bottom round roast that I'm turning into dried beef chips with the pork loin that I also reserved that I'm going to show you in a future video, and 4 pounds of bacon that I make for breakfast every morning. I eat a slice of it, so it goes a long way. I chop it in half and put it in the freezer and just get a bag of it out as I need it so it doesn't go bad. But every one of those meals even has enough left over for lunch. That is for our family of 3. That may be higher or lower for your family, but that is, I totaled it, that's a total of 63 meals for $212. That's 2 months of grocery budget at $200. In today's economy, that is saving a lot of money. So I think that's fantastic considering I'm eating ribeye and lamb and pork and bacon and very delicious foods. Yes, that's not eating sides, so I know that that's going to be higher for some people, but I think it's fantastic. And I think it's well worth the $50 or $100 membership, depending on which membership you get at Sam's Club, to buy the bulk products. We save up and we do big trips so that we can get a lot of product at once and then not have to go back for a while. And then, like I said, I just break it down and put it in the freezer and then pull up what we need every time we're gonna have a meal. Since we are carnivore, the first thing I'm going to do is start to boil some eggs. It makes a quick portable snack that right now I'm kind of tired of fried eggs. So I want something that I can grab quick for breakfast or lunch, or just when I need a snack to tide me over and give me a little bit of protein. While that's coming up to a boil, the next thing I like to do is buy bulk products. So for us on the carnivore lifestyle, I like to buy bulk meats. It is a lot cheaper that way. I then like to take them and break them down, put them in the freezer, store them, and I do that in meal-sized portions. So that looks different for everybody. You know about what size meals your family eats. I even incorporate a little bit for leftovers so that for lunches it makes it easier on Tommy, my husband, but just kind of breaking that down. So first I'm going to break down 2 pork loins, because at $1.98 a pound, that is really cheap eats and I can't beat that. So I'm gonna get both of those pork loins out and start chopping them down. I like to cut them into about an inch thick pork chop, and then later if I need them in a dice, I can chop them down further as I need. For this, I like to use these really big cookie sheets that I got from Sam's. That way when I cut open this package, it doesn't leave juices and blood and everything everywhere. It makes it easier that way. I get out a knife sharpener. I like to sharpen my blade right before I do this. It makes it easier. And then plenty of gallon-sized bags so that I can put them straight into bags that I'm going to be placing in the freezer to store until we use them. I also like a set of nitrile gloves so that my hands aren't as messy. It's easier to grip, to cut, and it's not as cold. My water has come to a boil, so I'm gonna add eggs to where they've got a little bit of room to boil, but not to where they're overcrowded. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, now that those eggs are in, they're gonna simmer for 13 minutes. I already have an ice bath ready so that when they are done, they can go right into an ice bath without pause. But while they're doing that, we're gonna go ahead and cut this down. I will be saving about a 3 or 4 inch section because I'm going to partially freeze it and then slice it thin because I'm going to dehydrate it into some pork loin chips. But I'll be doing that in a later video. But otherwise I'll be cutting them down into, like I said, 1 inch pork chops. Now that one is cut up, I'm gonna go ahead and bag all of these into meals before I start the next one. So before I got a chance to bag those up, my timer went off for my eggs, so I'm gonna go ahead and get those into ice water to cool for 5 minutes. I grabbed a clean set of gloves, and then I went ahead and opened about how many bags I think I'll need for this set of chops. And I tried to touch the outside of the bag with a dry hand and then the chops with my other hand. And then I close them up and get them ready to go down to the freezer. All right, now that the eggs are done cooling, I'm gonna put them in a Tupperware container. I lined it with a paper towel. I'm gonna leave them in their shells so that they don't get watery and gross. And then I'll just peel them as we eat them. I find that they stay fresh longer in the fridge that way. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that and leave them sitting on the counter until they're fully cooled and ready to go in the fridge. All right, now that those are down in the freezer and the eggs are done, I'm gonna switch gears and I'm gonna do the other pork loin off camera. It's just more of the same. It's really easy, saves you a lot of money, and is delicious to cook up. Now I'm going to break down 10 pounds of ground beef. We don't like the frozen pre-made burger patties. They aren't that great of flavor. So I have a burger press that I got from Pampered Chef a while back. So I'm gonna just go ahead and mix it up and flavor the beef how I want. And then I'm going to press it out into 1/4 pound burger patty increments, put some freezer paper between it and freeze it and make our own burger patties. So let's go ahead and do that now. I have another pair of my handy gloves. So within our patties, we are gonna mix onion butter, holy garlic, Worcestershire, and of course salt and pepper. I'm gonna reserve about 1 pound of the ground meat because I'm gonna make some meatballs that I saw Carnivorous Chef here on YouTube make that I wanna try. So look for that in the future from me. But other than that, I'm gonna make the whole thing into hamburger patties using my hamburger press. I have my handy scale and plate so that I can get these close to 1/4 pound. First, I'm gonna set aside that 1 pound of meat for those meatballs.
When we were young, running from all things at once, without thinking twice.
And then I just put some of that meat into a bowl so that I can season it, and then I'll start patting it out.
Behind the stories I've been told, they never seem.
Use whatever seasonings you like.
This road that I am on, I gotta stay here for some time. Time is gone and I grew up. I somehow made it through without losing sight.
And really that's how easy it is. I'll just keep repeating until I get all this meat done.
From the dark, the stories I've been told, they never seem to leave my mind. And this road that I am on, I gotta stay here for some time. Bruises, they come and they go, and we have to try and keep up, 'cause this life's so much more. And I still wonder come seek me out. I never felt tomorrow closing in this fast. Oh, I guess time's in a rush. Leaves are falling down, but at least they grow back, while I'm on a one-way track. Now I know.
All right. I'm gonna have to wait on the rest of these because the meat is starting to get a little too warm and it's wanting to stick to the press. But I'm gonna show you what I do to freeze them. Again, my handy dandy gallon bags. Got closed on me. That's why I have a clean hand. But anyways, I take a gallon bag. Take a stack. I've got paper in between them so they come apart easier when I'm trying to get them out. And just slide them in and zip them up and put them in the freezer. And I use them frozen. I start them frozen. I don't thaw them before I cook them. All right, so it is the very next day when I was working through patting out the hamburgers, the meat started to warm up and started sticking to the burger press. So if you are using a burger press, I would recommend weighing out your burger portions and keeping them in the fridge while you're patting them out and pulling out only about 10 at a time. Press those out and then pull out your next set. That way they don't warm up too much because it starts to stick too much and they start to get misformed. So I had to put them in the fridge, let them cool back off before I could continue. By the time I got all that kind of put away, it was time for us to leave for our workout class, and that was fine because I needed a break from meal prep anyway. So we took off and did that. I came home, we had dinner, enjoyed some of the nice weather outside, and that was it for the day. My big takeaway with today's video is that meal prep doesn't always look like big batches of cooking and things like that. It needs to look like what works best for you. Sometimes that means buying bulk products and breaking them down to meal size for your family, or batch cooking if that works, or cutting up vegetables ahead of time, or doing little prep works that get you ready for mealtime so that you save yourself the hassle and save yourself from eating out. It looks a little bit different for everyone, but I hope this helps you out today. Remember, you don't have to batch cook a bunch of food and keep it in the refrigerator. Meal prepping can be as simple as buying a large quantity of something and then breaking it down into meal size and freezing it so that you can have future meals ready. Do what works for you, and that's all I've got for you today. I can't wait to see you on Tuesday for our next video. Until then, bye.